Welcome to episode number 122 of the Kris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media, and once again presented to you by our friends over at SeatGeek. Oh, look who's back. I feel like I haven't talked to him for months. I don't know if it's been months. Steven Brault of the Chicago Cubs organization. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. 22 for me is Kutch. It's whenever I hear 22, that's always going to be the first thing I think of.
But I didn't say 22. I said 122.
I know, but it was like separated. It's 122. You know what I mean? So the 22 really got me.
Okay. What number are you wearing in Cubsville, whatever you're doing?
I believe 25. 25. I like 25. Actually, that was my number in Indianapolis my first year, 2016. Yeah, I like that number.
I believe that was Derek Lee's number in Chicago.
Ooh. You know, at first the first number they offered me was 17, and I was like, I'm not going to take Kris Bryant's number right after he leaves. I'm not going to do that. But thank you.
You
appreciate
are a smart
it.
Dude.
Yeah.
Pass.
Put yourself in a hole real quick.
Uh-huh. What are you drinking? I noticed some sort of red fruity drink. What do we got?
This is a iced passion tea. I like iced passion teas. Sometimes, so we've been too lazy to go grocery shopping, so we don't have any coffee here. So this morning I just ordered Starbucks, and sometimes what I do is I get a coffee, and then I also get a tea to have after I drink the coffee.
Because you're not caffeinated enough?
It's refreshing. I don't know if passion tea has any caffeine.
Oh, I don't do anything. First of all, I'm not, because of my heart issues, I'm not allowed to have any caffeine.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense then.
Well, nothing with the "een" at the end, or "ain," or whatever. That's what they say. Like the first time I had heart issues, I go and see a cardiologist. He goes, "Kris, I have to ask you, you don't do cocaine, do you?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Do I do cocaine? No, I don't do cocaine.
I just drink so much coffee." Those are because eens are like uppers, right?
Yes.
So yeah, okay, makes sense.
That's like page 1 of the cardiologist rule book is what they do. That's what they do. I was like, no,
more coffee. That's a bummer, man. You can drink like herbal teas. That's nice.
I don't drink anything but my water, which is amazing because, you could lose weight if you drank soda and all that stuff and just knock that out of your diet. I have no excuses.
My favorite soda is Coke, and is also Lydia's favorite soda. But so what we do is we get the mini cans. So if you need one, you can have one, and it's only like 8 ounces or whatever.
Yeah, but you crush those so quickly. You're like, oh, I'll just have 2. They're so cute.
I don't think I've ever had a second. I think it's just the right amount of Coke, except at a movie theater, which I will get the biggest drink they have and drink the whole thing.
Speaking of movie theaters, have you seen the new Top Gun?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we saw it last weekend. It was so good.
I've heard nothing but amazing things about it.
It's just like it doesn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time, it's not a big joke. But they just nail every part of it. The little comedy spread in, the callbacks, the action is unbelievable because they actually, were in jets.
Mm-hmm.
So they were sitting in the back seat of jets pretending they were flying them while they did these scenes, and it shows. And I think they must have told theaters like the volume has to be at 12 because, oh my gosh, it's so loud. It's great.
I'm excited to go see it. We made our 16-year-old watch the first one, and it actually held up pretty well for what it was.
Yeah, there's some real cheesy stuff that goes on. Yeah, but it's 80s movies, so it's perfect.
Right. Yeah, you're a big 80s movie buff guy, aren't you?
Wouldn't call myself a movie buff, but I did the last 2 years go through and watch all of the what I would call essential 80s action movies just to make sure that I had seen them. And after doing that, I will say Predator, the first Predator, is probably my favorite action movie there is.
Okay, solid. Good. I know you watch a ton of baseball. You are a huge baseball fan. For people that tune into the Rose Rotation and have listened to the Steven Brault episodes, I'm curious what you thought about the Tic Tac Toe game of 2 former teammates of yours, Joe Musgrove and Chad Kuhl.
Yeah, that was not beforehand, but it's not the first time Joe's done this. I just think that because Joe is now Joe and he's the best pitcher in baseball, it ends up being a big deal. But it's definitely not the first time I've seen him put a tic-tac-toe board on the back of a mound. It's funny because Joe is a really like fun loving, like, dude, he's on the mound. He's very intense. So if you don't like know him outside of it, you wouldn't know that. But Chad Kuhl is way more intense on the mound. He's like, ooh. And so I think it's funny like that he could have enough wherewithal to still do that in between innings and not just like come out and scratch it out.
I told Trevor Plouffe on Baseball Today, I said, I think the last time I didn't have a Cats game in Tic Tac Toe was when I was like 8. Like, nobody ever wins.
Well, there's a strategy. I mean, if you really play tic tac toe, you can only win if you go first. And if you go first, you put one on a corner and you basically go to 3 corners. So it gives you, as long as the person doesn't put there's like, I don't know what exactly it is, but there is a way to guarantee winning unless a person puts their second thing in a certain spot. So tic tac toe, not a great game, but more just like fun, funny.
Are you grew up with 4 boys, so the Brault family must have had a ton of games that you guys played, not just sport, but like yard games and stuff, right?
Yeah. So our house was like the house, the place where all the neighborhood kids came because we had a pretty big backyard, and we had like cement bases, like first base, second base, third base, and then home plate was just we used like a crack on the ground on the little sidewalk in our backyard. So that was home plate. And our rules were you couldn't hit it over the fence. If you hit it over, you were out because our neighbor didn't like balls going into his yard. But if you hit the fence in the air, it was a home run. So, teaching ourselves to hit line drives too, I guess, which was good. But yeah, no, our house was the place. But as far as games we made up, come on. You got 4 boys. We made up the most violent game of all time called Fumble. It's a trampoline. Okay, so we had one of those big trampolines, and our parents only allowed 4 people on it at a time, which is probably still too much, but whatever. And we had like one of those pads that went over the springs, so you wouldn't like fall through the springs. And it was divided into sections. And so you'd have a football, all 4 people would be jumping. The person with a football would do what we call butt bomb, where you just jump and fall on your butt and drop the ball. And then you have to get the ball and get it to one of the pads on the side. And then the last person to touch that pad had to get off the trampoline. The next person got on, but you couldn't be on your feet if you had the ball. So it just led to so much violence. And there were otherwise, there were no rules. Like you could tickle, punch, like steal a ball. You could hold them down and try to get the ball from them. It was a very violent game. Super fun.
What was the worst thing that happened to you during one of those games? I mean, this is a broken nose waiting to happen.
See, the funny thing is, I don't think anybody ever actually got hurt playing that game. I know we had one guy break his leg when we were playing a different game called Alligator, where you, like, if it was raining, where the trampoline would be wet and you'd have to slide across,
What?
And there'd be somebody in the middle that was the alligator, and they had to tag you as you went by. So, but like, we had a guy slide and he went too far and his leg went under the pad into the springs, and then he like hung over the side. And then we had another guy break his arm playing football, and then his parents never let him come back to our house.
But at some point, like, you were going to be a college pitcher. Weren't your brothers good at baseball too?
Not particularly.
Oh,
sorry, I got a piece of ice. One of my brothers, Philip, is very athletic and just very good at everything. He was decent at baseball, but he was really small as a freshman and didn't make the freshman team for baseball. Ended up hitting a growth spurt, playing volleyball, and then getting a scholarship playing volleyball through college. And coach isn't coaching right now because he's got 2 kids with twins on the way here very soon.
Oh, geez.
I know. But yeah, so they're not coaching right now, but him and his wife have coached multiple like high school teams and college teams and stuff like that. So he found a different love. Now he's one of the best beer league softball hitters I've ever seen in my entire life.
Not better than Pops in the Sunday baseball league.
Well, no, but we do it. Yeah, that's a good point. But then Roger, my oldest brother, the chef, was never really into. He likes baseball, but he likes football more. But he was never really an athlete. And then Jack, the nuclear physicist in the Navy, he's just not a very good athlete. But I'll tell you what, that guy can Can use his brain.
He can split some atoms, that dude.
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, you know what's become big business again over the last few years? Trading cards. And Greg Morris Cards is the most trusted sports card seller on the entire planet. In fact, check out these stats. They sell over 80,000 sports cards every month. I'll save you the math on that. That's about 2,000 cards a day exclusively on eBay. So you're probably asking, why in the world do people trust GMC for buying cards? Well, Greg Morris and his team, they hand grade every card they sell. Now, buyers have been trusting Greg's grades for years. So if Greg says they're mint, you know what? They are mint. GMC sells baseball cards from every era. They've got pre-war, they've got post-war, they've got modern era players. So if you're looking for something in particular, Greg Morris can help you find it. So all you need to do, go to gregmorriscards.com to check out their inventory. In fact, they want to give you $10 in free cards just for hearing about them here on John Boy Media. So once again, you go to the website, gregmorriscards.com, find the cards you want, and if you win the eBay auction, you message them with the code word JohnBoy to get $10 off your order. So we're looking to save you some dough and get you interested in the sports card collectibles era, courtesy of Greg Morris Cards. You are a baseball player for a living. How are we feeling?
I feel really good, actually. I've been throwing bullpens, starting lives, here soon. So everything is going very well. I feel like the Cubs staff here in Arizona they're awesome. They really care, and there's a lot of technology and stuff that goes into all this, trying to make you better than when you got, before you got hurt, not only stay healthier, but a better pitcher. The craziest thing about being down here is that everybody throws so hard nowadays, dude. It's crazy. All these like 20, 21-year-olds who are hurt, coming back, throwing their lives, and they're literally like sitting 98 to 100, like 80% of them. It's insane. Everybody throws so hard.
So how do you, when there's those guys available in a pool for a team that's rebuilding, how do you make it back?
It's funny, man, because it's different. Like, this is a good point. I was just watching Ben Joyce the other day, the college kid who throws 105. Yeah. And also Tennessee. Wow. See ya.
Tough.
But so that guy, we were looking through his outings. We have some technology where we can look through that stuff. He had an outing this year, it's 4 innings, and his average fastball velocity was 104.4 miles an hour over a 4 inning outing. And so we watched it, and yeah, most of the time these guys are late, but people were like on it. Like, he's not striking everybody out. He's not getting exclusively swing and miss on 104 miles per hour in college, which is just insane to think about. So yes, velocity basically makes it so you can get away with more mistakes, but people can hit that velo now. So you still have to have other stuff. Mark Appel is a great example of that. He threw 98, and when he came up through the minor leagues, it wasn't as effective in pro ball, because people hit speed unless there's something to it. So guys like me who don't throw as hard, there's something to it. There's a wrinkle. It's hard to pick up. It moves more, whatever. So it's just different.
Do you keep an eye on the Cubs starting pitching, or I guess the health of their pitching? It hasn't been very good. There's been guys that have been in and out of the rotation a lot. As a guy who wants to get back to that spot, do you keep an eye on it?
Yeah, you kind of watch these things and how they develop and everything. Like, I would never ever want anybody to get hurt, right? No. I mean, that's not, but it's what creates opportunities on every team. 2016, really the only reason I made my debut that year was because we had so many starting pitchers get hurt, because we had Jameson Taillon, Chad Kuhl, Tyler Glasnow, Trevor Williams, me, we all made our debut that year. We were all starting pitchers because so many pitchers in the big leagues got hurt. So it is how opportunity is created, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's an interesting position to be in for sure.
Did you see one of your new pitchers over the weekend in New York? Frank Schwindel?
He's not no, Schwindel is our position player. You're talking about Schwarmer.
No, I'm talking about Schwindel. I'm kidding.
Yeah, 35 miles an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Giving up a homer on a 35-mile-an-hour pitch is actually impressive.
It's impressive.
It's impressive. I mean, that is so slow, and it fly swatter, just whack. I mean, being able to hit a ball, I mean, you're basically hitting it off a tee, you know? So if you want to see how much power major league hitters have, that's Kyle Higashi. Okay, he is not a power hitter. He can hit homers up because everybody in the big leagues can. But if you want to try that, go set up a tee on a field at home plate and try to hit balls out. It's tough. It's really tough.
Are you sick of position players pitching, or because there's been 19 teams as of the taping of the show that have used a position player through the first 2 months to pitch?
Yeah. It's actually my least favorite thing about the Rays, if I'm gonna be honest. I feel like the Rays go with the position player thing a lot because their analytics probably say the rest of this game is lost already, you know? I don't like it. I never have. I think if you're gonna make pitchers not hit, we should not have position players pitching.
So you're not in favor of saving bullpen bullets?
No, I'm not. I mean, you hire people to be pitchers. I mean, yeah, maybe you're down 10, right? And it's the ninth inning, you're not going to win that game. But like, not only is it an inning that's an opportunity for somebody in a bullpen, but the reason we got rid of pitchers hitting was because of quality of play on the field, right? So I don't know. I guess it's fun to watch people basically take home run derby in an inning, you know, but like, I don't know. It's not my jam. Also, so many position players get hurt doing it. So many. So no, I don't like it.
I thought one of the cooler moments this year was Albert Pujols giving up a couple home runs to Giants and Evan Longoria asking for the baseball when Pujols was on the mound. I got to be honest with you. I thought it was like interesting.
Hey, no, I mean, I get it. Like I said, it's fun to watch. It's just not, I mean, it's not Major League Baseball, you know. I don't like the idea of any team being okay with losing games. And that's just kind of one of those things. But it's analytics. It's the same thing. It's games. You will lose lots of games in a major league season. Just like in the NBA, you're going to lose games. So it's okay to sit your star player every now and then when they used to play every single game. But I don't know. I guess I like the idea of teams always trying to win, but that's, utopia. So
it's all interesting. Have you ever seen a position player that can bring it?
Yeah, we had Jose Osuna with the Pirates.
Oh yeah.
He came in, he had an outing. I think he hit 94.
What?
Yeah. There's got to be a video. I'm sure Rob will be able to find it. Jose Osuna. He came in. I know he hit at least 90, but he threw hard. Because he was like a pitcher, in the DR or something coming up, or Venezuela, wherever he was from. And it was like I'm actually kind of surprised he never tried to be a pitcher, but I think he's playing in Japan now. But he was just like a third baseman outfielder who had a strong arm and could throw super hard on the mound. Yeah. Well, but everybody was like, Jose, stop. Like, you're going to get yourself hurt. Don't do that.
Well, there's a guy who plays for the Guardians now, Anthony Gose, who was a position player for the Blue Jays.
I played against Anthony Gose as a position player in the minor leagues quite a bit.
Yeah. And now he throws in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of people. There's plenty of people that can throw hard off the mound. The hard part is doing it correctly to where they won't get hurt coming into it. You know what I mean? Because you really got to build in, because position players are not at all accustomed to throwing. Like, if they're ever throwing hard, like as hard as they can, their body is moving, Outfielders are crow hopping, infielders are coming through a ground ball. It's not very often that you're throwing as hard as you can from a stop position. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So yeah, a lot of position players get hurt, or like guys who even throw an inning where they only throw like 74, 75 for that inning, and they feel completely fine that day. The next day they're so sore. It's weird.
Let's be honest. The only reason you're pissed about it is because they took hitting away from you.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it more than anything. David Bodie left me a bat when he left Arizona. He's hurt here for a little while, and so when he left me a bat, and I think it's just to tease me, and I appreciate it.
That's good humor.
Yeah.
So we've had a couple of managerial firings, one in Philadelphia, one in Anaheim. Plouffe doesn't think that those should happen during a season. He says it's not going to change the dynamic of your team at all. He doesn't believe much in what managers bring to the day-to-day game. He says it's much more about relationships than anything else. In your opinion, is there a huge difference between what we consider the best managers in the games and guys who get fired?
I don't know, because it's hard to really describe what a good manager does better than somebody who's necessarily like not a bad manager. Bad managers make bad decisions. That's obvious. But a guy like Joe Girardi or Joe Madden have been around as long as they have been because they're clearly not a bad manager. How good are they is kind of up for debate, I think, because Joe Madden was put in front of, the Rays with their new analytics team, which was really good. And he did build that up more so, but the Cubs championship was like the Cubs were ready to win, and so it's like, what does a good manager bring? What does it change in a clubhouse? And I think Plouffe is right. There's a lot of it is relationships and trying to get the best out of people, and how you do that. Different managers go about it different ways, But
what do you think is a good manager?
Well, so this is something that I've thought about because Bud Black is my favorite manager because he's a pitcher. He was a pitcher and he is a major league manager. He's the only one. And proclaiming to the world, I would love to be a major league manager. The broadcasting and stuff has always been a dream of mine. I think it'd be really fun. But I do like the idea of being a big league manager. And I think that's because the way that I see baseball being played now is just different than the way that I think that I would manage a team. And I don't know if that would be okay anymore. A more hands-on approach of kind of getting a team to buy into a certain mindset of play. And literally the focus is winning, right? Instead of it's pretty much accepted now that you have your roster of 26 guys and they're all individual people, and it just used to not be like that. It used to be a full team pulling in one direction with a mindset, with game plans, with all that stuff. And I just think that in general, defense is not as good as it used to be. I think there could be more work in that direction, and fundamentals, base running. I just feel like nowadays we see so many really cool plays, but we have seen a lot of weird plays.
You know what they're going to tell you, Manager Brault?
Yeah.
Fuck do you know?
I know.
You were a pitcher.
Exactly.
So 2/3 of the team isn't going to buy into your shit because you didn't do that.
I know. But this is one of the issues I have with baseball. Now it is so severely divided between pitcher and position player. Okay. If I were a manager, my team, the pitcher and position player groups are going to be much more interactive because I want pitchers talking to hitters about, hey, if you were going to hit against me, I've been having trouble against power lefties. You're a power lefty. If you were going to come up and hit against me, what would be your game plan? Let's talk about that. As a hitter, I've been struggling against hitting, sinker righties. You're a sinker righty. If you were going to attack me, how would you attack me? And those kind of relationships, those kind of conversations that help a team learn. If you can't learn from a pitcher how pitchers are going to attack you, then you're just missing out on so much information.
Well, but that's about building relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how you would. Okay, guys, all the people that are having a tough time hitting right-handed sinker ball pitchers, you get on that side of the room. I need my sinker ball pitchers. You guys get over there. Like, how does this all?
Okay. So this is not like a big team meeting thing. This is an interpersonal thing where it's like, as a manager, you have to be able to be honest with your players and tell them what they are not good at and why they are not good at it and how they can get better at it. If you're not doing that, you're not making your players any better. We got guys taking batting practice at 45 miles an hour on the field before the game for some confidence, and that's cool. But then you're facing Clayton Kershaw with the nastiest slider in baseball. So like, are you really getting ready? Just by like, you watch some video, is that going to get you ready? We have the technology now to put a machine to make exactly Kershaw's slider. Everybody should be hitting off of that, at least in the cage, before you go out to the game, in my opinion.
Interesting.
I just think that there are ways to bring back the ability to actually play baseball.
So I've been doing podcasts all morning. Haven't eaten a thing, but you know what's the first thing I'm going to put in my body right after this show is over? Athletic Greens. That's right. I'm one of those guys that had a ton of vitamins like in the center of the kitchen. My wife was like, "What are you doing? Why are you taking all those?" I was like, "I just got my Athletic Greens so I can get rid of all that stuff and I can take this." It is all in one. You take one delicious scoop of AG1, you're actually absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins and minerals, whole food source superfoods, and probiotics to help you start your day out right. And when you're talking about a dad bod like this one, I got to put something good in it to start my day off in the right direction. And here's one thing about Athletic Greens. It uses the best products based on the latest science with constant product iterations and third-party testing. It's recommended by professional athletes and podcast hosts as well. So for every purchase on top of that, your heart is going to feel good. Why? Because they donate to organizations helping to get nutritious foods to kids in need, including No Kid Hungry right here in the United States. So it helps you and it helps the kids stay healthy as well. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. That's really nice. I'm doing a ton of traveling this summer. I'm sure you are as well, so you can take it on the go. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Rose. Once again, that is athleticgreens.com/Rose to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Enjoy. Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on Brady's game. He's playing down in Irvine. He just lined out to center.
Oh, lined out's nice.
Yeah. Oh, well, that happened. Kid's throwing 86.
Oh,
at 16. How fast were you throwing at 16?
Maybe 80. I think I when I left high school, I was throwing like 84, 85.
It's interesting.
I know. It's just different. I mean, even what we were talking about earlier, like we used to be taught not to throw hard in bullpens. You keep it at like 70-75% of effort level.
Right.
And so guys like in our age group, if you look, any of us throw bullpens for the most part, they're never going to be at max velocity. And what it does over time is it takes that mentality away from you. And so now I can chuck a ball as hard as I can in a bullpen. I'll throw it as hard as I physically can, and I can't get it to what my game velocity is just because my brain doesn't turn it on. But these new guys, this is how you get signed. You throw a bullpen in front of scouts, and that gives you the same feeling as throwing, in a game. And these guys are throwing 98 miles an hour in bullpens. It's crazy.
We faced a team yesterday. We're a bunch of kids that are going to be juniors next year. They're going to be seniors. Mm-hmm. They had 9 Division I commits. 9. I was like,
that is a lot.
I didn't know it till after the game when Brady told me. I was like, God, that was a really good team. It's like, yeah, they had 9 Division I commits. It's like that big kid. He's committed to Oklahoma. Their center fielder's committed to Miami. I was like, find out where that pitcher's committed because he made y'all look silly.
Yeah. Okay. I got a good question for you. This is about that. So with college the way it is now, so college players getting paid, right? Mm-hmm. And the transfer portal being completely open. Mm-hmm. Do you think that takes away an element of college baseball? And sorry, I guess I should explain. The element being the idea of you sign somewhere, that is your team. You lead that team if you're the best player. If you get better, you stay there, you lead that team. And that's why you get like Cinderella stories, right? Are there going to be any more Cinderella stories in college sports?
Yeah, I mean, there could be. Yes, I think there will be. Your point being that if a kid starts to develop, then all of a sudden the big place is going to say, hey, we got a great NIL deal for you. Mm-hmm. Come on over here and continue to. Yeah, I suppose so.
It already happens. All these guys, there's a bunch of guys that have already entered the transfer portal as soon as their season ended.
For baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't, I have so little sympathy for any of these schools in the NCAA who are like, well, you're ruining college sports when you're letting these kids. I say, have at it. Let those kids get whatever they can when they can get their hands on whatever money they can. So
isn't it professional sports then?
Yes.
So they're a professional athlete.
Yes, because
college.
you know what college is? It's professional for the coaches. It's professional for the administrations. It's professional for everybody except for the people who are providing the entertainment. And you think providing the service.
So like bigger colleges should be able to just be able to give more money to players at that age. So why would anybody ever, if you were a good athlete, you're never going to go to a college other than, baseball right now is Tennessee, South Carolina, those schools.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to go anywhere else.
Right? Not necessarily. I mean,
if another team can't, they're not going to be able to give you as much money.
Well, yes. But I suppose it just depends on, if you go to a better school, there's a possibility there's another third baseman that's just as good as you.
It doesn't matter. You're still going to get paid.
You're going to get paid, but you might not be able to get the opportunity to play, in which case you're not going to get paid down the road.
Sure you will. Guys get drafted for a bunch of money out of those schools who aren't starters all the time. Vanderbilt has like 13 people drafted a year.
I guess you and I see it differently. That's okay.
I agree. I think that.
I mean, where'd you go to school? You went
to Regis University.
Right. You went to a small school in Denver.
I did.
Division II, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They found you. Weren't you like a 7th round pick?
Yeah, but they didn't pay me.
But it was only, they didn't. Did you come out after your junior year?
Yeah, I did. I was an 11th round. Yeah.
11th rounder. Okay.
I just think that this is a crazy idea. I know it's weird to bring it back to this, but it is college. College is supposed to be a place of education, right? And so now you have guys that are going places for literally zero part of it is the education available to them.
Well,
it's how much money they're going to make. I know, but I'm saying like it's just guaranteeing that they're not, I mean, nobody's going for an education. If you have any athletic ability, that you just don't worry about that at all.
That's been going on for decades, though. It really has been going on for decades.
Yeah,
really. I mean, it's actually gotten significantly better in that area. Back in the 80s, when I was growing up, they really didn't give a shit about whether you went to college or GPAs. They finally put some reinforcements there that, hey, you have to remain eligible. For the longest time, you didn't have to be eligible.
Yeah.
They didn't care about that. Well, now, there are college basketball players with the one and done system where you literally don't have to attend a fall class. You can get through because the penalty will come academically after your spring semester of your freshman year, in which case you're going to be gone anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So there are serious loopholes and issues. We don't need this podcast to let you know that the NCAA is criminal.
I know. I mean, we had weird stuff with the NCAA when I was in college too. We had one of my coaches got arrested for being part of a cartel bringing up cocaine from Mexico my freshman year, which was quite a surprise. Which I guess the NCAA really didn't have much to do with that. But we did have a whole thing about work study hours my sophomore year, and our head coach ended up being let go by the school because of basically they were saying he was, paying people too much. He was paying the baseball players on work study too much. And this is your issue, Regis University giving a few extra work study hours to the athletes. Okay. Yeah. You guys are doing great. Thank you so much. Awesome.
I want to ask you about Bryce Harper. He has not played, I think, in the field since April because of that partially torn UCL in his throwing elbow. But he is
tearing it up,
the baseball.
Yeah.
Is it possible we underappreciate Bryce Harper's talent because he's been so hyped for half of his life?
I don't think so. I don't
Huh.
think so. Because I think that Bryce Harper's done some really incredible things. He has, um, but he's also had some years, like he's had some significant down years.
Down years for him.
For him, yeah. I mean, for a guy making $25 million, yes, that is a down year. Sorry, you have to put it in that perspective.
Okay.
But that's why there's a difference between him and Mike Trout, because Mike Trout really hasn't had any down years. Albert Pujols didn't have any down years for his first 11, 12 years
Right.
in major leagues. You know what I mean? I think Bryce Harper's a really, really good player, and it's different now. He's not as vocal as he used to be. It's kind of like the more mature team captain kind of feel to me. And I've always thought he was really good. I like the way he plays the game. He's one of those guys that, like, when you're a kid, everybody goes, oh yeah, major leaguers never run anything out. They're so lazy. They don't hustle. That's a big thing. And Bryce Harper made it cool to hustle again. I truly believe that.
I agree with that. So I'm getting the feeling that there's guys that are tougher to pitch against than Bryce Harper.
Well, I'm a lefty, so it's a little bit different for me. But I mean, I don't know how many at bats I have against him, and I think he got a hit, one single, two singles.
Yeah.
So I remember one was like a late barrel fastball, shortstop side, and then the other hit was like on the right side, like a ground ball through or something like that. But I don't know. He's big. In the box, he looks like he takes up the entire box. He's huge in there, which I think is cool and intimidating. But no, I mean, I wouldn't say he's any easier. I definitely don't like relax when he comes in the box.
No, who the hell's going to relax? I didn't say that.
Also, but can we talk about we talked about this so much here. How in the world are you going to throw a strike on a 3-2 count with the bases loaded to Bryce Harper? Dude, like, it's not an intentional walk. Like, of course not. But man, you got it. This is Bryce Harper. This is like Mr. Clutch. He lives for these situations, and you can't throw him a strike there. You just can't. It's got to be out of the zone.
That was
Let him walk.
That game.
I know.
Really so was. Cool. It was fun.
I love baseball.
I do too. I love it. It looks like you're one of the Cubs rookies has a ton of fun. Christopher Morel.
Yeah. I haven't met him. I can't really say anything about him. He's a good player though. He's a good player.
Yeah, and I love it that he brings that enthusiasm, man. Like his first homer was freaking awesome.
It's very Javi Baez rookie E. You know what I mean? Like somebody coming in and showing you guys it's okay to have fun. Like you can have fun playing baseball. You know what I mean?
And there's still all those old heads who are like, "What are you doing?" I'd be like, "Fuck! If I hit a home run in the show, I would have ripped off my shirt and danced backwards doing cartwheels. I would have been so happy."
I didn't do that. When I hit mine, but I was like trying not to smile the entire time around the bases. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. But I mean, look, the bat toss, like everything is just, it's just really cool. He also, this is the new way of hitting. Fastball almost off the plate away, just yank it to left. Wham. I guess there's more middle than I thought. Never mind.
That is.
Balls hit hard.
I was just so happy. But look at the dugout. It reminded me of like the World Baseball Classic. He's so excited he forgot to touch first base.
I know. But he's got the athlete run. You notice that? That kind of lean forward. That, like, I always call that the athlete run.
Look at how happy he is. Like, that is genuine. I hope nobody in the Pirates dugout. That's the number one thing. Well, I hope he didn't show up the other team. Fuck that. That was so cool.
He didn't show up the other team. He was just excited. He didn't look at the pitcher and go, "Yeah, you fucking suck." Like, he didn't do that. He celebrated. He was excited. I think for the most part, everybody's pretty cool with that now.
Okay, good. You've never had a guy yell at you, have you?
I'm sure at some point somebody's yelled at me. We talked about this before because there was a time when I hit Contreras and Rizzo in a row.
Yeah.
And there was some jabbing going on there. Okay. Then I think I got double play the next pitch. So
did you at least tell him you didn't do it intentionally?
Well, yeah, but like it's kind of like a dude, I didn't fucking hit you on purpose. Come on, go to first. That kind of thing. Because I'm already frustrated. So you coming at me, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm still angry in my own head. So like I'm not bothering with you right now. That was clearly not on purpose. Go to first. I don't know. I've never been in a real shouting match now.
All right, now you got to hit something since you are a singer and you have performed the national anthem in a park.
Yeah.
Did you see the woman play the saw during the national anthem? Here we go. Okay. What do we think? You on board or no?
It's too slow and eerie. It's like it's like playing taps before the game. I don't think that's the right mood you're going for. You know what it sounds? It's the exact same as like those cups, like in Miss Congeniality. And she's that's what it sounds like. But the coolest national anthem I've seen was a guy who in Washington D.C. he made his own. He was in the, what do they call that? The national, symphony. And he was like first chair violin, and he made his own violin out of a baseball bat, like an electric violin out of a baseball bat.
I've seen that.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And he was like really, really good. That's impressive, but it makes me think, like, do you just sit at home with a saw and like, have you just practiced songs on the saw?
Well, would you have known that was a saw if you had not seen it, that it was a saw?
Oh, like it's from the sound?
Yeah.
No, I would have thought it was the cups.
Okay. That's what I would have thought too. And I played it for Michelle. I said, I didn't show it to her. Here's the dude. Good pull, Robbie.
That's my guy. It was a good one too.
Let's hear it. Can we hear it? Oh, okay.
Oh, this is God Bless America.
Yeah. Get into it.
All right. Yeah, it sounds nice. It sounds nice though, right? I mean,
yeah, it is.
It's not like sad.
Yeah, well, it is. No, it's not sad, but he looks a little bit like the guys at the end of Titanic when they're all on and their ship
sinking. It's been an honor, gentlemen.
Playing. Gentlemen, it has been an honor and a privilege to play with you. So anyway, back to the Michelle story. I did not show her that it was a saw. I said, tell me what instrument you think this is. And I played it, and 2 seconds later, she was like, that's the saw. I was like, how do you know that's the saw? She's like, do you remember my friend Janine? She was a little eccentric. She used to play the saw. I was like, what?
I mean, why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
What's she was a musician, and she and her husband, they played the saw.
Theremin? What is the instrument that has like it's like magnetic, and that's how you make the sound?
Oh, I don't know what
that's. The stuff that makes all the old horror movie sounds. I think it's a theremin. I think that's what it's called.
Did you have to play a recorder in elementary school?
No, I never actually did. Isn't that funny?
Really?
Yeah.
Are you looking it up now?
Yeah, it's a theremin. I was right. Yeah. So you don't play it like it's not like on a string or anything.
Yeah.
It's literally like electromagnetic waves that you're messing with. It's weird.
Well, we're kind of going from thing to thing. Right before the show started, I was just flipping through Twitter, and so I sent Rob this visual. Robbie, do we have that video? Do you know what that is?
It looks like a snake on a treehouse.
Yeah. Do you see how big that fucking thing is?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like an optical illusion at first. I mean, we're talking about, that's like, it's an anaconda. So that's probably, it looks like it's like, geez, like 100 feet long. How long do those things get?
Dude, somebody said, and I can't, I mean, I looked at it for 90 seconds before the show. Somebody said that's in Florida.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm never going to Florida by choice ever again. And it was before this. This just really hammers that point home. I'm good. I'm good on Florida.
Oh, I can't wait in 3 years. You get signed by the Marlins.
I know. Whatever.
Great.
Somebody's going to bring up that clip from this interview. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, well, things changed. I wanted to get paid, so.
All right. Well, good news is that you won't be appearing on any game shows in the near future. You were our first victim on the Chris Rose trivia show, which debuted on John Boy Media last week. We shot it during your visit to the John Boy Media compound out in Arizona. Let's see how you did on that show. Here we go.
Did we go by worst score first?
Appeared on the show Dancing with the Stars.
Probably one I should know. I'm gonna go.
It is.
This is a terrible answer. I'm gonna say Tony La Russa.
What is the name of the Atlanta Braves mascot?
What? I don't even know what the Atlanta Braves mascot looks like.
You've seen a lot of baseball movies.
I have. I should be able to get this one.
You've seen Major League.
Of course.
Tom Berenger's character's name in the movie Major League.
Well, okay. So Tom Berenger is he's the catcher?
Yes.
Oh, so he's like the main character.
He's the main character in the movie Major League.
His name, man, let's see.
Yeah. Well, David Ross, Blooper, and Jake Turner. Is that his name?
Jake Taylor.
He, it's actually, so first of all, I know, terrible, really bad. For anybody watching, I apologize. I blanked. I'm terrible. I never watched Dancing with the Stars, so my bad. The Braves mascot does not look like a Blooper. There's no way to know unless you know. And then the Jake Taylor one, I mean, that's just tough. You know what's funny? I was reading the other day, a lot of people who watch Major League just skip the love scene parts because the baseball story is they never overlap, not a single time. And so you don't need to have like the love story in the movie. Right. And people are like, it's just way better.
Although I have to admit, I loved Renee Russo back in the day.
Did you?
Had a thing for her.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't skip over that part.
I get it. I wouldn't either.
I just grovel. But I want to thank you for participating. You were the first one, so probably it was a little unfair. I should have maybe tried to pick better questions. And you were probably about 6 drinks in at that point.
I was. But also, it's not your fault. I should know. I should definitely know the David Ross one. That should have been one for sure. Mm-hmm. I just feel like there's so many other questions you could have asked about Major League that I would have gotten. And the one that I don't know is the main character's name.
I wonder what I could have asked you.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I know all the other characters' names.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, whatever, man.
Fair enough.
Thanks for making me relive that again.
You'll be fine.
I lived through it live, and then I watched it when it got put on the internet, and now I just watched it a third time. So it's nice.
That's okay. When you get signed by a Miami team, we'll bring out a different clip.
Thank you.
All right. I think you've answered most of these, so I'm going to have to just pick one.
Okay.
I don't know if you did opening wage on the Wheel of Moderately Interesting Things.
I don't remember doing that one.
So let's just spin it and... Wow. Opening
Oh my
wage.
gosh. That's
opening
crazy.
Wage. What was your first paid job?
Oh, that's a good question. My first paid job, I think, would have to be working as a counselor at a camp for little kids, because I was 14 or 15, and it was a week in the summer, and I went to it when I was younger, and then one summer I came, and I only did 2 camps, I think. My brothers did a ton of them, but I think we got paid for that.
You would have been a fun camp counselor.
Yeah, I think I was fun. I think I had a good time. My brother led the archery range at the camp. I guess I just had a group of kids that I looked over. They were my group.
Okay.
But I do remember having a lot of fun because that was the first taste of real freedom, out in the world on your own kind of feeling.
How old were you?
I think 14, 15.
So you probably biked to the camp.
No, the camp was far away. Camp was in the mountains.
Oh, wait a second. So you were a camp count, like at a go away camp, sleepover.
Yeah. Yeah. For like 10-year-old kids. Yeah.
Did you go to the camp as a camper?
I did. Once. I did.
I went for 6 years to a place called Camp North Star in Hayward, Wisconsin. 54843 is the zip code in case you have to write your parents home.
54843. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. It was fun. Good place.
Yeah, no, I liked it too. It's you get to do all the cool things. I don't know if they do it the same anymore because it probably wasn't the safest. Slip and slides, and
right.
We used to use, you'd use those, whatever they're called, the burning tools to like burn your name into wood and stuff like that.
Yes.
Tell ghost stories, all that fun stuff. Go hiking.
Make s'mores.
Yeah, gotta make s'mores.
I went to a 9-day trip in Canada, the oldest cabin in camp. We would drive like 7 hours from Hayward, Wisconsin up to Canada. And then we had to like portage canoes where you put them on your shoulders and you walk 500 yards to get to the next lake.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Perfect.
A lot of team bonding.
Here's a question for you. Do you know the name of the bird in Charlie Brown?
Yes. Tweety bird?
No, like isn't it like Woodstock? Woodstock.
Oh, yeah,
so
sorry.
I went to like an acting camp in summer one year, and it was like 5 days, and you would do like, little classes each day. And then you'd end with like, the first day was like, we ended with an audition. And then after that, the next 3 days for the last like 2 hours, we were rehearsing this Charlie Brown play that we were going to put on for the parents on Friday. I was not Woodstock. I was wood, and somebody else was stock.
What the hell does that mean?
We divided Woodstock's lines, which were like 4 of them, into 2 of us because we were both so bad. Woodstock was 2 characters. We both wore bird costumes, but I feel like one of us was actually a bird costume that they had, and the other person was just like yellow because they didn't have a second bird costume.
Do we have got to have photos of this somewhere?
I don't know. I honestly don't know if my mom has pictures of that. I'll ask her, but I don't even remember. I'm sure she remembers it because I'm sure it was miserable. I know that the play wasn't even really acting. You were just standing in front of a microphone. You'd walk up to the microphone and say your line, and the next person would walk. You know what I mean? Like that kind of play. Man, I was wood, or I was stock. I don't remember. I was one of them.
That is terribly demoralizing that they split Woodstock into 2 characters.
I know. And then I kept acting after that. I didn't get the hint.
Were you? Oh yeah. Well, we've seen the high school stuff where you said, yeah.
No, I got better. I got better.
Did. You sure as hell did. I was, my lead in the camp play my last year. I was Daddy Warbucks in Annie.
Did you wear a bald cap?
Sure as hell did.
Yes.
I will show you the photos next time.
Kids in bald caps are hilarious.
How Cohen. Here's the tough thing. We went to an all boys camp. So we had to have a boy play Annie.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
More. I need more.
Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Yeah. That's like, that song is like not allowed when you go to auditions for theater.
And why is that?
Because nobody wants to fucking hear it anymore.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, what would you sing?
Good question. Unfortunately, I'd probably sing either a song from Rent, or I would sing the King song from Hamilton, You'll Be Back. That one's on my album. If you want to go listen to it, it's pretty good.
Can you give me 10 seconds?
You'll be back. Soon you'll see. You'll remember you belong to me. You'll be back. Time will tell. There. That was about 10 seconds, right?
Pretty good. Man, you got it all.
Well, I'm trying to get healthy here, so let's not say all. All right. I want a working body first.
Don't ask to borrow anything off of this thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to. No. Maybe your facial hair, just so I can have a cool white beard.
Yeah. What do we think?
I love it. I think it's really good. I do like how you have the stripe in the middle.
Last year I dyed it at times. Michelle says, "Oh, there you are again."
Yeah, but look at that. That was when I was good. I was playing an Elvis character wearing a gold suit. Just living my best life.
Outfit with the sideburns are amazing.
I know.
Oh, baby, one more time. It really is sublime. Oh, honey, so sublime. You know I need your love.
Oh.
Give me one last kiss.
So that was 10th grade.
10th grade.
10th grade, yeah.
Did you have a girlfriend at the time?
No. I think I was trying to flirt with any girl in the play that would talk to me.
Any luck?
I don't think so. Dude, I was the guy in the gold suit. I had I wasn't a cool kid. Let's just say that. I played one on TV though.
You could pitch, you could sing, you could dance, you could act. You're good looking, you're charming, you're funny. What are we talking about?
There you go. That's 5th grade. That's what got me into it. See, that guy knows what's going on. He knows what to do to be cool.
What is that?
That is Rip Van Winkle, and I am playing Henry Hudson, the pirate. That was the first big show I was ever in, real, show.
What a stroll down memory lane.
I know. I can't believe Robbie just has these on file.
We've got everything.
Oh,
Dude,
man.
The amount of material your parents sent me at the beginning of this podcast, it's amazing. I have more Steven Brault's video than I do of my kids.
Well, I mean, that should tell you exactly what you need to know, Kris. You should have done better.
I should have.
I was the last son. So when I was a baby, nothing mattered. My baby calendar is completely empty, But then as I started doing stuff, I think my mom was like, you know what? I should probably get some stuff.
Oh, that's great. All right. Good catching up, man.
You too.
Let's do this in a month or so.
Yeah. I mean, a month should be a good time for me.
Yeah. Really, I'm sending good vibes your direction. That's all I can do. Okay.
Thanks, Daddy Kris. Thank you.
Welcome. All right, listen. Special shout out to our producer extraordinaire, the one and only Robbie Scirocco, our summer intern Alden Stone, doing a great job as always. For Steven Brault, I am Kris Rose. We will see you next time on the Kris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media.